in a lot of our videos, these past videos, we talked about how to manifest. And for the most part, a lot of it is metaphor, a lot of metaphors and, examples in time, space, limited language to try to get the point across a certain way. And the hard thing is we have to use this language to communicate and talk about it, but there's limitations in it because it requires us to step outside of ourselves and almost hold it at arm's length and go, okay, let's talk about what exactly it is and how to manifest. And sometimes people have aha moments and go, okay, that's kind of the tidbit of information I needed to kind of connect to it. But often people go, I just don't get this, and I don't understand it. It eludes me. What's reality? What isn't reality? What's this illusion you're talking about? And all of those answers lie within. And I have a desire to share my experiences because they're just awesome, and I want others to be able to tap into what I have found to be amazing, unlimited resources. So I can share my experiences and my thoughts and perspectives on it, but really those answers are right there within you. So in response to one person's question about, really what is manifesting in concrete terms, that's what people want to know. In concrete terms, how do I manifest? Like, come on, okay, I get all this other stuff, but how do I do it? And within that question is the answer, because you're asking, how do I manipulate my time-space experience in order to get something in my time-space experience? So when you're asking, how do I do this in concrete terms, you've taken yourself out of the realm of manifestation and put yourself back into this limited identity. Right there is the flip side of that coin. If you could see that would really, if you could just chew on that for a minute, I hope that helps a little bit. So really, after all is said and done, when you say, how do I manifest? It's the same thing as how do I be? You're asking yourself, how do I manifest? Is equivalent to asking yourself, how do I exist? It really is one and the same. To manifest is to be. It's not a state of manifesting. It's a state of being. And what you manifest is basically a time-space manifestation of who you're being. And so, sorry, somebody walking by talking. It's a state of being. And so manifestation is so the key to manifestation is in tuning yourself in such a way that you shift your vibration and your frequency. All right, but how do I do this in concrete terms? Is where the mind wants to take you back to. That's what the mind is familiar with. It's looking out into the experience going, how do I default mode back into what I know? That's that intersection. That's that place where you're either looking at the reflection of yourself in the mirror, or you're actually looking at the self. Okay, that's the intersection of where you want to explore how to manifest. So let's go back to that idea of looking in the mirror. So you're looking in the mirror, you see a reflection of self. So we all know you can't go into that mirror and change that reflection. You cannot. Okay, so parallel that with life, going into the world and making changes. There is no world to make changes in. It's a mirror. It's a reflection. Okay, so the how, concrete terms, is not going to happen in that reflection, in that world. Okay, it's just not. It's not a. It's not a technique, to use to manifest by manipulating the time-space. Time-space only reflects. That's its sole purpose, is to reflect. So you go back to the source. The reflection is you. That's where the manifestation occurs. Okay, so it's not a doing with you. It's a being. Okay, it's a being. Who is it that's being reflected into the mirror? Now, when we talk about vibration and frequency, if you're vibrating a certain density, that's what's going to be reflected. If you vibrate a little bit higher frequency, that's what's going to be reflected. When you're vibrating in a lower density, what you perceive is denser, slower, takes more time. When you're in a higher frequency, what you perceive, quicker, lighter, you're more sensitive to perceptions and things. Things seem to come quicker. It's not that they actually take longer or come faster. Your perception has shifted based on how you're vibrating. And it's really one and the same. I have to kind of separate it to talk about it, but it's one and the same. What you're perceiving impacts how you're vibrating. How you're vibrating impacts how you're perceiving. So they're not separate. It's one and the same. So the key is in the relationship that you have with yourself. If you're just being and experiencing you and loving you and feeling you and constantly paying attention to you, that is the equivalent of vibrating at a higher frequency, and things will start to feel like they're shifting. The nature of your reality within that existence and within those moments shift. When you're outside of contemplating you and understanding and learning about and feeling and just being within you, when you're outside of that, when your focus is outside of that, that's what you experience. The outside of you. What is outside of you, which is a denser, slower, time-space feels like it's controlling you as opposed to you kind of controlling it. This is a lot to chew on, but I kind of want to stop talking so you can chew on it and kind of contemplate that. And I hope at least a small glimmer of aha comes across you, because it's really not going to come from me. It's going to come from you. And, if you're hearing this message, you're kind of already there. You've brought yourself to this message. This message is really you talking to you, because it is all about you. It is. This is, it's kind of, it's going to sound weird, but it's kind of you talking, So sit with you, and in those quiet moments, in the quiet of who you are, is where those answers are going to come from. And I like that aspect from Eckhart Tolle, that he really is onto a lot when he says that in the stillness is kind of where a lot of that comes from. But I don't think you have to say a whole lot about that. I think it's just, get still, get quiet, and contemplate you. That's it. That's basically where your answers are going to come from. So instead of asking how, ask who. How do I flip that to who am I? 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 When you ask yourself that question, yourself is going to answer those questions, or that one question. It's going to show you, and it is showing you. It's showing you in your reflection. It's showing you in your time-space. Who am I? That's the concrete. That's your concrete how. Ask yourself, who am I? That's your path. So try that out for a while, and just kind of check out what happens, what comes, what kind of synchronicities show up in your life when you ask yourself that question and just listen to the answer. It's all around you. It's all within you. It is you. It is you. Your question, you are the question, you are the answer. Words are limited. It's difficult to explain in words, but the answers are all around you. You can taste them, touch them, feel them, smell them. You can sense them. They're there. So ask yourself. Okay. We'll come back and keep it moving. We'll keep talking about this, okay? I want you to get this. I really, 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 really want you to get this. Many blessings.